So welcome to today's 45-minute yoga class. The focus on today's class, I thought we would make it a little bit interesting as the weather gets a little bit colder. So as the weather gets colder, it is really nice to introduce twists and balancing postures into the body. That's just because it creates a lot of internal heat. It makes it quite challenging and fun. With that being said, though, with any class, before you get started, just take a quick look around you, make sure that your space is clear of any hazards that you're not going to hit or bump into, and that your space is nice and clear for you to enjoy your practice. You won't need any equipment for today's class. You'll just need yourself, and if you have a yoga mat, that's great. If not, just a comfortable surface or floor that you can practice on. The length of the class for today will be 45 minutes. So we'll start off with a nice little warm up, work our way into some vinyasa flows, balancing postures, and then of course we end with Shavasana. At the end, I always do like to end class with a quick little meditation that you're welcome to join into or to stay in Shavasana, and I'll cue you through all of that. Before we get started, always remember that throughout class to take breaks as needed. If at any point you feel any sort of faintness, dizziness, pain, or shortness of breath, you know your body best. Please stop exercising and take breaks as needed. So with that being said, we are going to get started. Make my way to my mat. So I'll start in a seated position today. So you can have the legs crossed if that feels comfortable for you, or the legs nice and long. I like to remove the fleshier parts away from my glutes. So I sit down onto the sits bones. You can allow the hands to soften to the knees and just rock forward and back, side to side, until you feel a little bit more rooted through the pelvis. Begin to bring awareness to the back body and the spine, and just begin to sense the natural curves your spine has. Begin to bring a sense of elongation from top to bottom, almost as if there was a string on the top of your head, drawing the crown of the head to the sky. Back of the neck, nice and long. And then slowly bring the awareness to the front side body of the torso and begin to notice how the breath moves to the abdomen and the rib cage. And as you breathe in and out through the nose, just notice how the lungs expand with air as they stretch out to the sides of the rooms, as they fill with air. And then as you exhale, notice how everything falls back to the midline, the center of the body. It's kind of your little time to check in and draw the awareness inward. We're always so focused and putting our attention to what's in front of us in the outside world that sometimes we don't check in and see how our body feels. And this is our time to kind of do that little assessment. Notice any little sensations that come up and just slowly beginning to become that watcher or that observer of your body. Beginning to notice those things without necessarily having to react to them. Maybe in your next few breaths here, as you continue to focus how the breath moves through the body, you begin to lengthen the inhales and the exhales. So as you continue to breathe in and out through the nose, maybe you fill the lungs to their maximum capacity on that last breath when you feel you can't inhale anymore. And then as you exhale, you draw the abdomen in, almost as if you're actively squeezing all the air out of your lungs. Take a couple more breaths here, and then slowly drawing that awareness to the heart center and through the chest. Actively draw a sense of expansion across the front of the chest so that you feel the shoulders opening from side to side. I just had to put on my glasses quickly so that I could see what's going on the screen. Awesome that you turned your camera on so that I can feel a sense of community. That's great. Thank you. Slowly bring the awareness to the face and soften all the muscles. Allow the eyebrows, chin, jawline to soften. And notice where your tongue is in space. Can you allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth? And that sends a little signal to your subconscious, letting you know that everything's okay. It's almost as if your flight or fight response softens. Because as you allow your tongue to soften from the roof of the mouth, your abdomen softens and you can take in more air, allowing the body to relax. Getting prepared for the next few minutes of class. Couple more breaths here. Just kind of honing in to where your body is in space. One more inhale here. And if the eyes were closed, as you exhale, slowly softening and then opening them up. Awesome, we'll get started from here. So from here, we're going to take a nice deep inhale with both arms, lift them up towards the sky, fingertips spread nice and wide, and palms face each other as you reach up to the sky. Feel the stretch along the torso and the side body. And from here, just take a quick moment. Notice where your shoulders are in space. Can you actually draw them away from the ears? So to press the shoulders down so that you feel the shoulders and the shoulder blades soften along the back body. Lengthen through the arms, charge the forearms, fingertips reach up. Full inhale here. And then as you exhale, hinge from the hips, begin to lean the torso forward, palms face down to the earth. You're going to pitch a tent with the fingertips. So you place all 10 fingertips rooted onto the floor, but the palms are lifted. And then again from here, bring awareness to the shoulders. Draw the shoulders away from the ears, almost as if you're pulling that floor towards you. So you're drawing the floor towards you, and then you'll feel that very subtle openness in the chest. Continue to breathe here, in and out through the nose. And then again, it's all these little small movements that you're bringing awareness to. So notice the back of the neck. Ensure the back of the neck is nice and long. And notice the corners of the hips here. Has one lifted higher than the other. Do a little adjustment so that they feel like they're more leveled or in line. Or even draw that one corner of the hip that's lifted, actively draw it down. 2 more breaths here, actively drawing the floor towards you as you inhale. 1 more breath. On your next exhale, you're going to slowly walk the hands over to your right side. So you're going to draw the abdomen in, almost as if the belly button is trying to touch the inner right thigh. Again, from here, as you begin to move the torso to the right side, you'll feel a stretch along the left side body. So you can actually bend the right elbow and really reach out with that left arm, left fingertips, so that you feel the stretch through the left forearm, all through the left arm, up to the shoulder, maybe even all the way down to the left corner of the hip. Actively draw that floor towards you for 1 more breath. Deep inhale here. And then as you exhale, walk the hands to center and then over to the left side. Same principles apply. Abdomen drawn in, almost as if belly button and inner left side are going to touch. Maybe they do. And then to accentuate that stretch along the right side body again, you can bend the left elbow. Really reach out with that right arm, right fingertips as you try to reach for something towards you. Back of the neck nice and long here. Right corner of the hip rooted into the earth for 1 more breath. Deep inhale, and then as you exhale, you walk the hands to center. Deep inhale here as you lift the arms up towards the sky. You're pressing the shoulders away from the ears again. Full inhale. And then exhale, arms come down. Awesome. Let's make our way into a tabletop position. So hands underneath the shoulders and knees underneath the hips. And from here, we're just going to slowly begin to bring a little bit of movement into the spine and then slowly introducing our body to become comfortable with one limb lifted at a time. So in our tabletop position, you can have the knees a nice distance apart so they feel comfortable, and the toes may be curled behind you for balance, so the tops of the feet can rest on your mat. So whatever feels better for the feet. From here, root down through the palms, take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to extend that right leg back behind you. So flex the right foot here so that right leg is nice and active. And from here, begin to notice the parts of your body that dump more weight onto one side. So sometimes our body will look to position more of our weight onto the left side. And we'll really press down through that right hand so that you find a little of integrity and balance through the three limbs that are rooted into the earth. Flex that right foot again, draw the abdomen in here, full inhale. And as you exhale, if you're ready, maybe you begin to float the left arm out in front of you. Left fingertips reach forward. So opposite leg and arm here, full inhale. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend the left elbow and left knee. Allow them to touch, curling the spine into a tiny ball here. Inhale to extend out. We're going to do 3 more. Exhale, elbow and knee touch. Abdomen draws in and curl. 2 more. Inhale to extend out. Exhale, elbow and knee touch, drawing it in. 1 more. Inhale to extend out. Foot flex, fingertips reach forward. And then exhale, soften the right knee, left hand down. Beautiful. We're going to do the other side. So bring down the palms, fingertips spread nice and wide. Take a full deep inhale through the nose. And then as you exhale, this time the left leg will reach back behind you. Flex that left foot here so that you feel the thigh engaged and the kneecap lifted. Draw a little bit of an awareness to the corner edges of the hips. So as your body likes to find balance or dump weight into one side over the other, notice the hips as well. Maybe that left hip is slightly hinged higher. That's okay. Allow the corners of the hips to kind of be in line, and you might lose a little bit of height in that left leg, and that's okay. From here, find balance with the 3 limbs rooted into the earth. Full inhale. And then as you exhale, right arm will float out in front of you, fingertips reaching forward. Lengthen through the right arm, left leg. Full inhale. As you exhale, elbow and knee touch, curling into a tiny ball. Chin tucks into the chest. 3 more. Inhale, extend out, fingertips spread nice and wide. Exhale, elbow and knee touch, chin tucks in. 2 more. Inhale, extending, stretching from opposite sides of the body. Exhale, elbow and knee touch. Final 1. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, elbow and knee touch, fold. Slowly release and soften, coming back to table. Take a nice full inhale here. Bring the knees nice and wide, and then as you exhale, tops of the feet flat on the floor. Push the hips back, come into child's pose, forehead resting on the mat. Full cycle of breath here, in and out through the nose. And then as you exhale, slowly walk yourself through table. Curl the back of the toes, lift through the knees, and find downward facing dog. So feel free to pedal out the feet here. Shake the head yes, shake the head no. Just assess how the lower limbs feel in the next couple breaths. Those couple movements that we were doing with our shoulders at the beginning of class, where we're drawing the shoulders away from the ears, can you bring that awareness again and draw the shoulders away from the ears? So you're opening that space in between the neck and the shoulders here. 1 more breath, full inhale. And then as you exhale, slowly look back towards your feet and then walk the hands towards the feet. Come into a forward fold. Allow the head to hang heavy here, back of the neck nice and long. We're still moving fairly slowly. And then on your next inhale, uncurling the spine one at a time, head coming up last. Slowly making your way up to standing. Awesome. From here, take a nice deep inhale, lift the arms up overhead. Perhaps you look up, palms touch. Exhale, hinge forward, find your forward fold. Inhale, belly rises to a 90-degree angle, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold plank palms, walk the hands down into a plank position. In plank here, we'll hold for 2 breaths, press through the palms, abdomen drawn in. Full inhale, full exhale for 1. One more breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. As you exhale, descend your waist, so knees, belly, chest, and chin if you're just warming up. Full front side body on the floor, hands underneath the shoulders, tops of the feet rooted. Inhale, lift through the heart center, heart shines forward in baby cobra. Exhale, come down. Slowly either lift yourself up or rock through table and find downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, take a full cycle of breath. Full inhale through the nose. Full exhale. On your next inhale, right leg will reach up towards the sky. Point the toes here. Feel that charge in that right thigh. As you exhale, right foot will come forward in between both palms. High runners lunge here, so you're on the back of the balls of the left foot. And from here, find stability through both feet. And when you're ready, inhale, rise up. As you're rising up, that right knee will remain bent. As the torso lifts up and the fingertips reach to the sky, and you found the stability in the posture, maybe you challenge yourself and find more depth through that right thigh. Inhale deeply here. As you exhale, you're going to come into your runner's lunge, arms reach back, heart shines forward. We're going to do that 3 times. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, reach back like you're getting ready to run. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach back. 1 more. Inhale, rising up to the sky. Exhale, reach the arms back through runner's lunge. Beautiful. From here, you're going to root down to that left foot so you can bring that left foot closer. That left foot behind is going to be at a slightly 45-degree angle. From here, the right knee is going to remain bent. We're going to come into a revolving twist. So there's lots of options here. Left forearm can come to the right thigh. If you want to challenge yourself or you feel like you have that range of motion and want more depth, left hand can come to the inside of the right palm. So play around with it, see how you feel. We'll be in this posture for a few breaths. So you can actually play around and see what works better. And then when you're ready, that right shoulder will peel up towards the sky and the right arm will come up. So play around with the foot position. Maybe you widen your stance. Maybe today it works better for you to have the forearm on the thigh. And if it feels uncomfortable for that right arm to reach up, maybe you bring the right hand to the head. So lots of options here. You'll be here for 2 more breaths. Maybe on that last breath, you find stillness and find a steady gaze. Final breath here. As you exhale, slowly look down towards that right foot. Frame both palms around the right foot. Right foot steps back into plank. Holding for 2 breaths here again in our plank position. Breathing in and out through the nose for 1. Breathing in and exhale for 2. Descend your way through chaturanga or knees, belly, chest, and chin. Inhale, shine the heart forward through baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale, press yourself up or rock through table, downward facing dog. Take a full cycle of breath here, in through the nose and out. On your next inhale, left leg will reach up towards the sky, pointing the toes. Charge to the left thigh here, full inhale. As you exhale, left foot will float forward. You're doing the same thing on the left side. You're getting ready into that runner's lunge, and when you're ready, inhale, rise up. Challenge yourself, maybe find depth in that left thigh here, full inhale. As you exhale, we're ready to run. Arms reach back, heart shines forward. 3 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, reach back. 2 more. Inhale, lifting the fingertips up to the sky, maybe looking up. Exhale, reach back. 1 more. Inhale, rising up. And as you exhale, finding that revolve twist, reach back. Allow your gaze to look towards your right hand is going to go. So or the right forearm to the left thigh. So find that position, and then before you begin to bring that position with the arm or the hand to the forearm, excuse me, root down for that right foot. So from here, play around. And when you're ready, left arm reaches out. Left shoulder peeled out to the side. Holding here for a few breaths. Allow you to find that sweet and steady composure for yourself. There's a little phrase in Sanskrit that says, Stiram Sukham Asana, and it's finding your sweet and steady posture. It's finding the balance and steadiness and still allowing yourself to breathe. One more breath here. As you exhale, allow your gaze to look down to the left foot plants down as the left foot steps back into plank. 2 breaths here again, in and out through the nose for 1. Breathing in for 2. And then as you exhale, descend your way. Shutting your heart forward as you inhale through baby cobra or upward dog. And then meeting in downward facing dog. 2 breaths here. Every time we return to downward facing dog, it's kind of like you're taking your own personal break. So if you don't feel comfortable in downward facing dog, you can always skip it and find child's pose. So on your next exhale, look forward in between the palms, walk or jump both feet forward. Inhale, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold, head hangs heavy. Inhale all the way up to standing, arms come up, palms touch, maybe you look up. Exhale, hands to either side, Samastiti, equal standing posture. When you're ready, you're going to inhale, arms float up. Exhale, hands to the hips, fold. Inhale, belly rises to a 90-degree angle, hands to the shins. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, walk, jump, or float both feet back into plank. In your plank position, full inhale, just here for 1 breath. As you exhale, descend your way. Inhale through baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you're going to take a full inhale, full exhale through the nose. On your next breath, right foot will come forward in between both palms. You're going to root through both feet here. So both heels are rooted. As you inhale, you're going to rise up through warrior 1. So similar to runner's pose here. The only difference is that both feet are rooted. The back left foot is at a slightly 45-degree angle. The corner edges of the hips are aiming forward. They're not necessarily perfectly facing forward, but that's your intention where you're trying to orient them to. And then the palms reach up to the sky, maybe the palms touch. Maybe you find your point of focus or your drishti by looking through the thumb or past the fingers. Holding for 2 breaths here. 1 more breath. When you're ready, you're going to open up through the arms and find warrior 2. As you find warrior 2, you look past the right fingertips. Maybe you find even more depth through that right thigh, abdomen drawn in. Lengthen through the spine, crown of the head reaching up to the sky here for 2 more breaths. Opening up the shoulders, 1 more breath. As you exhale, reach those right arm back, exalted warrior. Full cycle of breath here, opening up through the right torso. As you exhale, wiggle the arms around, bring both hands around the right foot. Bring that left leg back behind you a little bit closer. You're going to lengthen through the right thigh here and imagine as if forehead and knee were to touch. You can bend the right knee as much as you need to to allow for the connection of forehead and knee to happen. Knowing that over time, you're lengthening that right thigh. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. When you're ready, you can bend the knee as much as you need to allow the palms to root down to the earth. Right foot steps back into plank. Holding here for just a cycle of breath here. Full inhale. As you exhale, descend your weight. Meeting in downward facing dog. And downward facing dog, you're going to take a full cycle of breath. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. On your next inhale, left leg reaches back and up. Point the toes. When you're ready, float that left foot forward between the hands. Root through both feet. Inhale out the warrior one. So again, adjust as needed. Sometimes you need to widen your stance here. Allow both edges of the hips to root forward. Find your steady gaze as the palms reach up. And it's the same principles that we were working on at the beginning of class. So when you find that Sthiram Sukham sleep steady composure, notice where the shoulders are, drawing them away from the ears, drawing the abdomen in, breathing in and out through the nose. 1 more breath here. Preparing yourself as you exhale to open up through warrior two. Maybe you find more depth in that left thigh. I won't keep you here for long. Looking past those fingertips, finding that steady gaze, opening through the chest and the shoulders. As you exhale, exalted warrior, your left hand reaches back to the back wall. That right hand can rest on the outer right thigh, or you can even wrap around the low back and allow the fingertips to creep over to the other side of the hips. When you're ready, wing the leg arms around, frame the left foot with both hands, the left foot steps back into plank. Full cycle of breath here, full inhale. As you exhale, descend your way. Shutting the heart forward, your baby cobra, upward dog, meeting in downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths here. Breathing in and out through the nose. 1 more breath. As you exhale, look forward in between the palms. Walk or jump, both feet forward. Inhale, hands to the shins, belly rises. Exhale, hold. Inhale, rising all the way up to the side as the arms come up. Exhale, hands to either side from left feet. Awesome. So hopefully we're feeling a little bit warmed up now. We're going to get into the balancing postures of class. So just remember you're in the comfort of your own home. It's okay to lose your posture. It's okay to laugh at yourself. Just play around. It's just yoga. So we're going to come into a warrior three pose. You're going to take a big step back with the left foot. So you're in this kind of warrior position with the legs. You can bring the hands to the hips here, just to start off with for balance. And begin to notice where the weight is distributed through your foundations or through your feet. You can bring that back leg a bit closer if you feel it brings more balance to the body. And then from here, begin to notice the right foot. Root down through that right foot, through that foundation. Begin to position more weight into that right foot. And as slow as you're going into it, you're going to slowly begin to lift that left leg back behind you. So similar to how we did at the beginning of class, when we were lengthening the arm and the leg, notice the corner edges of the hips. Can you draw that left corner of the hip down to the earth? Can you flex through that left foot and lift through the thigh? And then from here, the hands can stay at the hips, or maybe they come out like airplane wings. Maybe they come out in front of you. Maybe they stay at heart center. Breathing here in and out through the nose. One more breath. And then as slow as you went in, you'll come out so you can bring the hands to the hips. Slowly root that left foot down. Beautiful. We'll inhale, come up through warrior one. Exhale, hands to the hips, left foot meets the right. Returning to equal standing posture. Awesome. So we did the exact same thing on the left side. So this time we're going to take a big step back with the right foot, adjusting our foundations. You're kind of familiar with this since you already did it once. So kind of play around with it. A little fun tip, I actually find sometimes that on days when I'm struggling with my balance, widening my stance to allow my center of gravity to be a little bit more rooted helps a lot by allowing that left foot to go over to the left edge of your mat. So play around with that, maybe that'll help, maybe not. Sometimes bringing the foot closer to the midline of the body brings more balance. Kind of play around with that. We'll be there for a few breaths. When you're ready, begin to position more weight on that left foot as the right foot floats back behind you. Flex that right foot, right corner of the hip draws down. Crown of the head reaches forward so the back of the neck is nice and long. There's still a nice sense of length through the spine here. From here, the hands can come to heart center or airplane wings, or even like runner's lunge arms. Arms can reach back, fingertips reach the back wall. Whatever feels better, you can even play around with it. 2 more breaths. Playing around with the arms will definitely challenge the balance. 1 more breath. And as slow as you went in, you'll slowly come out. So right foot roots down. Inhale, arms come up through warrior one. Exhale, hands to the hips. Right foot meets the left. Awesome. Hands to either side. Beautiful. We'll do 1 more flow. Completely optional at this point. We'll start to cool down the body. If you don't want to go through your vinyasa flow, you can completely skip it and meet us in downward facing dog. Or if not, get in. Inhale, arms to top. Exhale, fold. Inhale, belly rises to the shins. Crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale, plant the palms, walk, jump, or float. Both feet back into plank. Inhale deeply here. Exhale, descend your way. Find baby cobra or upward dog. Meeting in downward facing. In downward facing dog, take a full cycle of breath here. In and out to the nose. We'll keep you here for a brief moment as I take a quick look at the camera. On your next exhale, you look forward in between the palms. And then slowly bring the knees down through table. Rest one side of the hips onto the mat. And then allow your legs to come nice and long out in front of you. Bring it safely to the earth or to the mat. Give your legs a nice little shake here. We're going to come into a seated forward fold next. So you can bend the knees as much as you need to if you feel any sensations in the back of the hamstrings. But inhale, arms parallel to the earth, flex both feet. And then as you exhale, you'll hinge through the hips, allow the palms to soften either to the shins or to the mat. Maybe you grab on to the outside edges of the feet and you begin to bend to the elbows. Maybe you use the peace fingers on the hands to grab onto the big toe, your choice. We'll be here for a few breaths, so it's completely okay if you need to bend the knees here in order for you to allow your hands to clasp on to your feet to the mat. Knowing that your gaze is past your toes, acknowledging that one day maybe the torso will touch the thighs. There's a neat little article that I read a while back that said, is the true yogi the one that touches their toes or the one that's on their way there? There's an interesting concept because after reading through the whole article, both answers were right. It's just our ego that gets in the way. We're always trying to reach for that little extra instead of sometimes taking 2 steps back to make one positive move forward. Another cycle of breath here, full inhale. As you exhale, unhinge, unwind. Awesome. We're going to bring the right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh. I'm going to turn around to face you so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So right sole of the foot to the inner left thigh here. You're kind of creating the shape of a figure 4 with the lower limbs. And similar to how we did in our seated forward fold, we're going to do that again. So inhale, arms parallel to the earth, fingertips reach forward. As you exhale, hinge from the hips. This time the torso is going to drape over that left thigh. So sometimes it involves a very, very subtle twist to the torso so that you can allow the belly button to touch that left thigh. Maybe the hands rest on the floor, grabbing onto the outer edges of the foot. Just notice where the neck is in the face as you continue to breathe. And can you allow for the back of the neck to be nice and long? And then again, same principles apply with the shoulders, drawing the shoulders away from the ears, keeping that awareness or sense of openness still through the front of the chest, even through these postures. One day, forehead and knee will touch. On your next exhale, unhinge, unwind. What we'll do to the right, we'll do to the left. So we'll bring that right leg nice and long, maybe give it a little shake if needed. And this time, left sole of the foot to the inner right thigh. You can flex that right foot, flex the left foot so that there's nice integration through both legs. Inhale, arms parallel to the earth, and then as you exhale, hinge forward. Maybe as we do the same posture on the opposite side, there's a sense of ease in knowing of what's coming next. So maybe you just ease into that stillness a little bit more quickly. Breathe in and out through the nose. Maybe with every exhale, you allow the torso to reach to the thighs just a little bit more. Maybe one day, forehead and knee touch. On your next exhale, unhinge, unwind. Awesome. We're going to slowly make our way to the earth. So the torso is going to rest down. Not Shavasana just yet. We're going to come into just a very subtle option of an inversion. So we're not going to be coming into headstands. Although if you practice headstands and you can comfortably access it on your own, you can allow for that to happen. But my instructions for today will just be for a simple modified inversion. So you can bring the hands to either side of the body, palms facing down. You can draw the thighs in towards the torso and then slowly begin to lengthen the legs up towards the sky. I like to take this opportunity to kind of appreciate my foundations or my feet. So I point and flex my feet here, give my ankles a quick little rotation clockwise and then counterclockwise. And as you kind of begin to bring more stillness or static postures to the body, maybe you begin to notice how the breath has slowed down, how it's returning to its natural rhythm here. Allowing the legs to be in this position gives us the opportunity to have gravity pull our circulation in the opposite direction. That doesn't happen very often since we're usually standing upright or we have our head above our heart. So having it this way, it's kind of calming for our nervous system. Similar to where our tongue is in space. Allow the tongue to fall away from the roof of the mouth here. Allow your breath to be natural and fluid for the next couple breaths. And headstands or inversions can be held anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes. You slowly build your way through it because you can get a little lightheaded as we do this. So just breathe, soften. A couple more breaths here, just easing our way into what's next, which will be our Shavasana. If there's a posture that I didn't teach in today's class that you still feel is calling your name, this would be the time to access that posture now. If not, just slowly begin to melt the body down towards your mat or the earth beneath you. Softening into corpse pose, or known as Shavasana. The beautiful thing about Sanskrit, which is what a lot of the postures are, named in Sanskrit, is that their direct translation is very simple, and it's exactly what is meant through the name of the pose. So in corpse pose, you're simply laying there completely still, allowing for conscious stillness. Almost as if you were entering a dreamlike state. Knowing that you're consciously awake. Let the breath soften each and every muscle. Almost as if the muscles were beginning to peel off of the bone structure, melting into the earth beneath you. You're more than welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as your body needs to be. Or if you'd like to join class for a brief meditation before we go off into the rest of our day, I invite you to do that as well. You'll just roll over to one side, preferably right. You can take a few moments there, just noticing how the side body rests onto the earth. And then using your right palm, eyes soft, still maybe even closed, pressing yourself up into seated like we started. Again, completely optional, your choice. If you're coming into that seated position, immediately bring a sense of awareness to the spine, allow the spine to lengthen from top to bottom. The palms can rest on the knees, facing up or down. Or you can allow the hands to rest on top of each other in the center and the midline of the body. Coming back to that conscious stillness, focusing on the breath. And for today's little meditation, I'll kind of allow you to be in your own headspace with the simple task of just focusing on your breath. And every time that your mind wanders, kind of like a monkey on a branch, swinging from one branch to the next. Every time you notice your mind wander, can you actively draw it back to the breath? Back to the movement of the inhale and exhale through the nose. Maybe to consciously draw that awareness back to the breath every time you bring that wandering mind back. Maybe you take a couple louder breaths to bring that awareness to the breath. So maybe breathing in actively, and then as you exhale, sighing it out. Bringing more attention to the conscious mind by including sound of your breath to catch your attention. Using your sense of feeling, notice how the breath moves every time the mind wanders. Lots of things to encourage the conscious mind to bring its awareness to. The sound of the breath, the way the breath moves, and the simple inhale through the nose and exhale. It's completely normal for our mind to wander because we have so many things that go on throughout our day. Simply acknowledge and take with you that we have control over our monkey mind. And we have the wonderful tool of our unconscious breath that carries us throughout our entire day that we can use as an active tool to consciously concentrate on. We'll allow for one hand to rest on the heart center in the middle of the chest, and the other hand on top. Kind of being the watcher and observer again. Of our body and mind. And only when you're ready, you can open up the eyes. Bringing our conscious awareness back to the outside world. Thank you so much for joining. It's always a great honor and privilege to kind of guide you through your practice. You're more than welcome to leave any comments or questions. If you have any requests for future classes, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Remember that Tuesday classes run at 3:30 and Fridays at 11. So I hope to see you again soon. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and hydrated, and namaste. I'll stick around a little bit if anyone has any questions.